how would you compare some of the challenges that you had back then to some of the current challenges of the PT industry right now?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now, everybody is challenged with decreasing reimbursements, the threats specifically of Medicare. And quite frankly, when we're talking about Medicare and we say, okay, Medicare is going to decrease the reimbursement by 3%, or 3.5%, and then they end up decreasing it only by almost 2% because there is some fix from the Congress. This is a fallacy. This is a wrong idea if we think that the only effect of that decrease took place on Medicare. Because look at this. What determines the reimbursement rates for most insurances? What determines what is called reasonable and customary rate? Most of these rates, and check this out, most of these rates are somewhere between the reimbursement you get from Medicare and the reimbursement you get from the regional workers' compensation fee schedule in your region. So take a look at that and examine. So you are getting a multiple or a percentage of a Medicare rate for most insurance carriers. Either you're going to get a 90, 80, 70, 60, or 110, 120, 140 of that Medicare schedule. So then a small decrease, 2-3%, it is not only affecting your Medicare carrier, but it cascades to other insurance companies. So reimbursement, recruitment of staff is very important, and people feel that they have no more time. Their profit margins are shrinking. So how do these problems of today, how do they compare with what you had back then?
Well, it's interesting because back then, in 2013, we weren't really going through much declining reimbursements yet. What I felt a pinch in my practice was we had no cash flow from aquatic therapy coming in. And to be honest, at that time, when we talked about diagnostics and the investment of it, I could have easily looked at it and said, well, it's not the right time. I got to get off this aquatic therapy audit and get income coming back in. But we made a decision to implement diagnostics for many different reasons. But what I didn't know then that I know now, it was the single best thing that ever happened to my practice, because when we were hitting declining reimbursements, and this is the God's honest truth, it mattered, but it didn't really matter because our diagnostic business contributes so much to our EBITDA and our valuation that when I sold my company, fast forward in 2020, the value was significantly higher. Without diagnostics, forget about it.
See.